Hi everyone, Dr. Peter Hughes. I'm so sorry to have moved our meeting into an online format, but I'd rather that you all get home safe and sound. And let's get started. I have a few announcements. Number one, if there's a delayed opening tomorrow, you'll be able to see it on the website. Additionally, at 7 o'clock last night, we did a test communication. You should have gotten either a text message or an email that basically alerted you that there was a delay. I will also be sending out a schoolway message. So literally you'd have to be hiding under a rock to not get the message. That is the goal. So the second thing is I have a couple memos that are coming out. One is about video use in the classroom. Basically, I wanted to give you guys some guidance about how to use video and how not to use video in particular. Most people know not to show full-length videos, but I've gotten feedback in the past that's been an issue in past years. I have not seen it, but I'm going to just lay out my expectations so that everybody's aware. The other thing that I wanted to talk a little bit about is communication pathways and making sure that when you have a question or a concern, or a parent has a question or concern, that they go to the right level. In general, I've seen some mistakes recently where parents have come to me or they've gone directly to Patty instead of teachers that they actually had the concern with. When that happens, I send them back to the level at which they should be sent, which is your level if you're the one that dealt with the parent. Usually it just clears the air, and most problems are actually solved at the level at which they existed. So just a heads up that I'm going to send some guidance around that area as well. I'm going to be posting an update on building goals. We've done a lot of wonderful things, and I've actually presented to the board an update on building goals the other day that I was really pleased with, and I think we've made tremendous progress as a district already, and we're going to continue along those lines. Linka Training is on December 13th. You're going to be split into the 3 grade bands, so K through 2, 3 through 5, 6 to 8, and each group will get 2 hours of training using the data from your own Linka assessments. If you're in K and 1, you're going to have a shortened training, and you're going to focus on something slightly different. If you're in grade 2, you're going to have the full 2 hours. And today I'm actually introducing what I'm really excited about, which is our strategic planning initiative. I wanted to present this in person, but I'm going to give you basically the overview today. And I'm hoping to get some volunteers that want to be involved in this process. It's incredibly important. This is going to define our next 5 years at Hallworth School. And I have a lot of great ideas, but the reality is strategic planning shouldn't be my ideas as a superintendent. It should be our ideas as a community. And the teachers are a critical part of that community. So I'm going to start off with just a short video to kind of introduce the concept and give you some idea as to what this is going to look like with the strategic planning.
This is America in 1900. This is a car in 1900, and a phone, and a high school. This is America in 1950, and a car, and a phone, and a high school. This is today, a car, a phone, a high school. Whoa, back up. So cars are now this, and phones are now this, but high schools are still that? American high schools are based on the same model, and it's been over 100 years.
Wow, that's a long time.
But why? In 1900, it made sense for high schools to prepare students for that. But in 2018, shouldn't they be preparing students for this, and even this? So why are we still granting diplomas based on the time a student spends in a seat? Why are we still using the Carnegie Unit, which was developed in 1906 and says the formula for learning is 4 years sitting at a desk multiplied by 1 subject taught at a time equals students ready for the future? All questions XQ the Super School Project asked America to help answer. There was a competition. Not that kind of competition, this kind. The kind where communities across the country come together to rethink high school. So every student, everywhere, can be prepared for the future. And that's big, like really big. Like the largest open call in history to redesign high school big. This is the hard work that went into it. 10,000 people across the country became school builders, and thanks to them, there will be brand new ways of teaching and learning. Starting with America's first super schools. Schools that will let students learn by doing, that focus on the future and spark curiosity. Schools that build community, unleash potential, and solve real-world problems. Schools that will ask their students what they think and will actually listen to them. Students, like me.
First of all, let me talk a little bit about what's strategic planning. You've heard me talk about how I'd like our school to be the best school in Bergen County, and that involves re-envisioning what we can do as a school and what our values are and kind of the resources that we have. So strategic planning serves the following kind of criteria to make us go forward. You identify the goal and kind of the vision of where you want to go, envision the end product, use backwards design to identify resources and stages, assign and implement the stages, evaluate the outcomes, and continue to refine and improve the design. I'm going to give you a really quick example of something that exemplifies the power of strategic planning, and it's a personal example. This is my backyard, and this is a sunrise from my living room. Now, my problem was I really wanted to see the sunsets, which are actually in the opposite direction. So I came up with the idea of creating a boat, and I actually started to design the boat. So I'm envisioning what my boat would look like and trying to figure out what it is that will solve my problem, which is to really appreciate the lake in a whole new way. But envisioning is not enough. You have to actually kind of put your actions where your plans are and get to work. So this is me and my brother-in-law starting to build my boat. This is the finished product. Now, the finished product is a little bit different than the first design. I realized that the ladder wouldn't make sense here because I'm up against the shoreline. I realized that the lights needed to be pushed back, and maybe instead of 2 beams to support the solar panels, I needed 4. So I actually took a vision, brought it through to reality, but it's not always perfect. Sometimes you have to tweak it along the way. And then after I've actually finished, the question becomes, how do I make it even better? Well, you make it better by being able to enjoy it at night. This is an example of the power of strategic planning. And if it's done correctly, you actually build relationships through the process. In this case, me and my brother-in-law and dad became much closer through this project. I did this in one spring break. And I love my boat. It's fantastic. But it kind of shows you the power of envisioning and then following through to reality. We're about to do this process here in Haworth Public School. In the next 5 years, we're going to implement a strategic plan that we put together this year. And I'm looking forward to kind of working with all of you to figure out what that vision would be, because then we put money, time, and energy behind that vision to bring us as a school to the next level. I want our school to be the best in Bergen County. I want it to be the one that kids wouldn't even think of wanting to move from. The one that kids are clamoring to move into this town to be part of our community. And I think we have amazing teachers already. I think we have amazing structure. But my question is, what is the next level? So, why strategic planning? Well, without a strategic plan, you don't move forward. It's sometimes said that if you don't know where you're going, how do you know that you're getting there? With strategic planning, it leads to focused improvement. I'm not naive. I know that there's always going to be kind of some direction backwards, but mostly direction forward with this type of process. And I'm really excited about the opportunity it presents. Here's an example of an opportunity. Up on our stage, we had just clutter. It was crazy. Underneath some of these tarps and things were these desktop computers. this space has been underutilized. Before we even do the strategic plan, I'm seeing opportunity here. We're actually going to be turning this space into Hawk's Lab, Hallworth Advanced Workshop for Knowledge and Sciences. I presented this recently at the board meeting. It's actually Paul Wolford's kind of brainchild because he saw this space untapped, and I used the most powerful word in the English language to motivate someone. I said yes. The power of yes was what we did, and as a result, he's in the process of turning that space into a lab that's multi-use with robotics, digital video creation and editing, 3D design and printing, crafts and fabrication out of cardboard, and crafts and fabrication with art supplies. And our PLC team is going to be helping with this as well. So I'm really excited about that piece. That's not even part of our strategic plan. It's a tiny element that opportunity presents itself, and we find that way to move the district forward. I'm looking forward to seeing something that's more significant over the next 5 years. This is what a makerspace would look like and feel like. The kids, it's all hands-on, it's building, designing. But beyond that, what type of technology are we going to use? What type of learning can we create in our classrooms with that technology? What does learning look like? Is it collaborative? Is it individual? Is it individualized learning that meets the needs of every child at the level at which they're at? What does collaboration and technology look like in a classroom? But also, how do you design instruction that maximizes what students learn and what they can do? How do we introduce critical thinking, collaboration, advanced problem solving? What does art look like, and how do we design our classrooms to mimic the best learning areas? These are components of a strategic plan that are larger. If you would like to be a part of this future, I would love for you to sign up. We're going to actually have the rollout session, which is next Monday from 7:30 to 9 o'clock p.m. It is a voluntary thing. The link is down in the description of this video, and there's also a QR code, and here's the bit.ly URL code for it as well. The schedule is the following. Strategic planning is going to last from November through to June 1st. Most of the hard work is going to be between November and May. And I'm hoping that with the guidance of my fellow administrators, the parents, and even students on this committee, we can come together with the teachers to design the future school that we need this to be. So thank you so much for taking the time to view this video, and I really hope that you'd consider signing up. Thank you. Have a great day.